Hey, Ryan here with Thanks.io. In this video, I'm going to build out a campaign using the new radius search option in Thanks.io's mailing list builder. So I've clicked on radius search here, and I'm going to focus in on this records type column where I have a number of interesting segments that I can use for real estate. And I thought it might be fun to try doing the likely to move, just a straight up likely to move. And this is based on neighbors with certain life events. We aggregate data from multiple sources, but I can buy a list here of people that sort of the algorithm is as designated might be ready to move. So what I do is I click the likely to move. I'll pick a location here, so I'll actually I've been sending mailers here and there around my home address. We'll just do a 50 record test just for demo purposes here. And I can buy these 50 records for $2.50. It's 5 cents a record. If I wanted to append the email and phone to these, I would do that. But for now, I'm just going to leave that off, and I'm not going to include condos. I just want single-family homes here. So I'll go ahead and click Buy Mailing List. It'll add the mailing list to my my Thanks.io mailing list here. You see on the left side it has the list description, mailing list, radius search, likely to move. So that's great. It kind of gives me all the details so I can access later. And it'll take about 10-15 seconds for this to load the list here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, since I've done my likely to move, is I'm going to send one of Thanks.io's sending types. And if I go over to my message and image templates, I can start to build out what I'm going to do. So I have message templates, I have image templates, and I can send postcards, letters, window list letters, note cards, and gift cards. And I don't think I've ever done a demo of our window list letters, as they're sort of a new thing. So I'm going to actually go ahead and do a window list letter here. And when you design the so-called image side of one of our sending types, you're going to, and for letters in particular, what you're really designing is letterhead. So I'm going to click Design Window List Letter. It's going to open up Canva for me here. And it kind of brings up this basic letter template here. If I want to, I could grab one of the templates right here. I can kind of change up some things. Just gonna, for demo's sake, try to do this quickly. So just make this a little smaller. And I'll pause and the main thing here is that we do want to remove some of the body of the window list letter, okay? Right, and put our stuff kind of toward the top from desk of. And then you would put your logo and everything else here, but I'm not going to bore you with those gory details. Just know that you can kind of design, using Canva here, a branded letterhead template. So I'll click Save right here. And then what it'll do is it'll throw my template into my window list letters here, kind of refreshed, and now it's available to use. So that is ready to go. Let me just edit that, make sure it has a name, Ryan Hartman Canva Design. We'll just do Ryan's window list letter template. Now, for my money, I like to do things kind of essentialist and minimalist. I might actually do this if I wasn't doing a demo. I might just do a blank letter. I don't think the design matters as much as what you're actually offering in the content, but just know that you have the capability of doing that. So I have the letterhead designed, and next I will do the message for my likely to move people. So I'll click Add Message. Again, I'm going to choose my window list letter option. We'll call this likely to move seller prospecting. I'll go down here. Know that I can put a QR code on the letter. So what I'll do for the QR code is I'm just going to use my real estate website's sell page, Forever Florida realestate.com/sell.php, which is all of us kind of have that, right? If you're a licensed agent, you probably have some kind of page like this where somebody can check the value of their property, and that's more or less what I'm going to use here on my KV Core site. That'll load up. So I'm going to put that there. I can CC anybody who scans the letter if I want, but the important part here is that I jump on into the offer section of the message. So I'll do that next. I'm not going to make you watch me type. I'll just pause and I'll write out this message. Okay, so I've got my script here. I'll just read it out real quick. Mortgage interest rates have been rising quickly alongside the rate increases the Federal Reserve is doing. This is causing some slowing of the real estate market. Prices are starting to come down a bit. A higher percentage of home sellers are reducing their asking prices, and properties are starting to stay on the market longer. If you are at all thinking about selling your house soon, this might be the perfect time to do so while you still have a good amount of equity buildup that's occurred over the past few years. I could probably say this a little more plainly, but I'll just roll with it. I probably could have said while your house is still worth a lot of money. It would probably be a plainer way to say that. If you'd like to check and see what's your property at address, see I'm merging in the address here via the merge tags. Myself or in today's market, just scan the QR code at the bottom of this letter. You can also text your address to my cell number, which is basically what that is, and I'll reply back with a full detailed report. Also, feel free to call that same number if you'd like to discuss the sale of your property now. Thanks, salutation, and then another PS reminding them of what to do again. So this is kind of just sound copywriting where I kind of introduce, tell a little story, set up the situation, and then maybe call it attention, interest, desire, action, like ADA, and then I go into the call to action at the end, right? So then we have the scan. Remember that the scan on all of the Thanks.io sending types will notify you by email that the scan has happened, so you can do further follow-up. And also, you can also trigger other actions into your CRM on every scan if you want to, which is really cool. So I can kind of re-segment anybody who scans this into a more targeted list. So I'll click Save Message Template. The one thing I didn't show is that I could change the handwriting type. There's probably a type here that you feel might fit your personality style, so you can play with that. And also, you can change the color of these fonts. That's in the settings section. So if you wanted blue ink versus black ink, you could do so. But here we go. This feels like a pretty personalized letter, like I kind of scribbled it out and sent it to them in some way. And again, it's a windowless letter, so it has it'll come with the name and email on the front, and it'll look less like a solicitation. So I've got my message set up. I've got my image template side set up. This is how Thanks.io works. I have my kind of letterhead here. I've got my mailing list built. Those are the three main components that I've made. So if I go back into the mailing list, you'll see that those 50 people are in here. I've got their names. I've got their addresses. They are the closest people likely to move to the center address. These happen to be all my neighbors, and I've been, again, this works best when you've been sending periodic mail to the same people. It's like multiple touches, and I tend to every month or two send something to this neighborhood. So that, of course, is kind of a loose form of farming where it will kind of build up over time and people will start to contact you and remember you as an agent of choice. So I've got that all set up, and now the last thing I need to do is just get the campaign out. There's a few ways I can do that. I'm going to just use the Send Now red button here. I'm going to choose my windowless letter option. You'll see that the last design I made is actually sitting there ready to go. That makes things handy. My message template here, I'll just go ahead and pick that. There's my likely to move seller prospecting message template for this type. I didn't mention that you could attach additional pages. So if you want to put a brochure or a PDF document that explains more about your company or something, those are 20 cents a page, and that counts the front and back. So you can have it kind of, the PDF file will show on the front and back of each page, and it's 20 cents a page to append a PDF file, which might not be the worst idea. You can see here that I did make a mistake. This is the first time I'm doing this. I did happen to put my letter template kind of was designed a little poorly. It starts everything in up at the very top, and that's what I get for trying to complicate things. So I'm going to go back and I will revise this before I send. But for the purposes of this video, you'll see that you'll want to keep that toward the top. And I really believe that you get away with just doing a blank letter template here. I know, maybe you put some stuff small on the bottom to make it look more official. But again, what's more important is the copy and what you're offering and the story you're telling and the reason why they want to engage with you. So I'm going to click continue. And then I'm going to choose the mailing list, click existing list. This is going to be the list here. And then I will click save and continue. And now you can see I can get this full campaign out very quickly by just clicking submit and send order now. It'll go out in the mail generally within 1 business day. Sometimes it'll print the same day if you're doing it kind of earlier in the day, and it'll go out the next morning, or sometimes it'll print the next day and go out the next. But these all tend to hit the mailbox within 1 calendar week, call it 4 or 5, 6 max business days. So you definitely want to leave enough time. If you're doing you're doing something event based, you probably want to give it 2 weeks lead time to give it be totally sure that it's going to hit. But for something like this that's not very time sensitive, it'll hit the mailbox pretty quick. And that's it. That's how to build a campaign here. Key thing to rehash that I want to remind you of is this new demographic targeting that we have in the mailing list is really kind of pretty powerful stuff. I know that the people I'm sending this to are likely to move. I could have sent to absentee owners. I could have sent to people who have a home equity of 50% plus, which might actually make a lot of sense with home values coming down. We know that interest rates are higher, so people are going to have a harder time refinancing they're gonna become a little stuck again in the market. So targeting people who might be less likely to be stuck because they have equity could make a lot of sense. You can see we have these other kind of demographic targets in here. I think the kids and household is very interesting too. For move up, move down sort of messaging. So that's it. If you need any help setting up a Thanks.io campaign like this, just go ahead and use the concierge real estate option. You'll see it on the left side of the dashboard. I don't have it here in my admin account, but this is a sound way to approach building a real estate business. Direct mail is tested, tried and true method. Many people have success with it. You just need to be consistent, and Thanks.io offers you a suite of tools that increase the chances that your message will get read. You have the custom handwriting, you have the QR codes, you have the ability to build these targeted lists. So don't just kind of get to it. Schedule some time next week to either meet with us or request that concierge setup. That's what you want to do, is request the concierge setup, or take some time to just go through our documentation and follow along with this video or the other videos you find on our YouTube channel to get a campaign out. And the more you practice this, the better you will get at it. So thanks for watching again here at Thanks.io. This is an example real estate campaign that you might send to likely to move sellers.